Welcome back, everybody. It's another episode of Touched by a Horse. I'm your co-host, Chris Angel, and I'm here with your host today, Dr. Bethany Piziks. Hi, Bethany.
Hi.
Good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. I'm honored.
You're in the hot seat. You're the host today. We get to talk all about the important work in the world that you are doing. So maybe give me some backstory. Like, what's your background before we kind of dive into what you do now?
Yeah. Well, the short story is when I was 13, I had horses and my parents couldn't afford them, and they sold them while I was at school because of the money. Yeah. And I decided because of that moment that I was never going to not be able to have something I loved because of money. And I thought, I'll just do quick exams, do a few fillings, and be a dentist and have lots of money, right?
Yeah, right.
That's what I did. I became a dentist and found myself, building a new building. And I was in the career for 20 years. Wow. And I went through some really dark times, struggled with anxiety. Is this all there is to life? I felt stuck in the profession. I felt stuck in my personal world, and I was looking for something else. And I've always been a horsewoman. So I decided I was going to leave dentistry and found Melissa's program, Touched by a Horse, which combines the wisdom of coaching and the wisdom of horses and the skills of coaching. So I was able to make this a career. Yeah. What was the significance of Melissa's program, the Touched by a Horse program? How did that like cast vision for what was possible, or like how did that help you? My two greatest loves as a dentist, I hired a coach. And my coach changed my world. And my horse was my main coach, though I didn't know it at the time. But my horse taught me through experiences what the lessons were I needed to learn. While my coach was telling me with words, but they were both powerful together. So what I wanted to do is combine coaching and horses. And I'll never forget it. I Googled coaching, horses, and I didn't think anything would come up, and this horse comes up, and I'm amazed. I said, no way, this is it, and did some research and got into the program. So it has totally turned into a career that I love, with combining everything that turns my, passion on. Helping dentists and coaching and horses. So. That's
so good. I love it. Well, tell me about the work you do with dentists. And I know it's not just dentists, but what do you see for people who come in to work with you? Where are most people struggling? What's the problem when they come to you?
Well, actually, I created a program that I wished I would have had when I was struggling. And like I said, my main struggle was that I felt stuck, and that can mean many things. I felt stuck having the same arguments with my spouse. I felt stuck, like I'd fire an employee and hire a new one, and I'd have the same, struggles would come up with leadership. And I decided it wasn't the outside world that needed changing. It was me. Yeah. So that's when I started to get some help. So I'm providing what I wished I would have had when I was a dentist. And, the main pain points that I work with are feeling stuck. Is this all there is to life? I get up, I go, I fix teeth, I struggle with my team, I pay my debts, I pay my taxes, and I go to bed exhausted with no energy left for myself or my family. And it just goes, it's like Groundhog Day. Yeah. There are options, and I'm here to open those up for people, for dentists who are struggling.
It's especially based on how you sort of told how you got into dentistry, where it's like, money's not going to be an issue for me. And so there's this dream, this vision of like what this business is going to do. And then, like you said, it's Groundhog's Day, and it's not at all what the vision was.
And believe me, money was a struggle as a dentist. I built a building and I bought all new equipment. I started my practice with 2 charts in the drawer. One was my mom. So you talk about money struggles, and any dentist listening, can you relate? It's all something. I feel like I worked for other people till the end of November, and then I finally got to take the paycheck, for what I did in December. And it's suffocating for dentists. And it's not an easy profession, physically, emotionally, mentally. And I am committed to bringing the gifts of the horses to this profession and ultimately reducing the deaths by early stress-related cardiovascular disease and suicide. And
wow.
I'm sure you've probably heard that dentists are said to be one of the highest professions in suicide.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's pretty common knowledge.
Really?
Patients.
Is it because of this stuckness, or what is it why do you think that is?
What came first, the chicken or the egg? Do people go into the profession who are more prone to that, or does it cause it? And I kind of believe that dentistry is so stressful. Like for me, I wasn't naturally suicidal, that's for sure, but I had some ideations, believe me.
Yeah.
It's the stress. How many businesses, where the owner is also the main producer, that kind of an intense business where you have to be there from 8 to 5. And emotionally, here's the other thing about dentistry. Working next to patients 8 hours a day who would rather be passing a kidney stone than be in our chair. And they say it out loud. Any dentist listening, I know you can relate every single day. I hate, nothing personal, but I really hate you. I hate being here. I'd rather be having a child in labor. And
wow,
there's the limbic system is open. So, which means if I'm angry and you sit next to me, you'll start to feel that anger. And so anxiety, sitting next to an anxious patient, our blood pressure goes up, our heart rate increases, start to breathe more shallowly, and it affects us physically. I did it for 20 years, and I think I got out just in time for myself physically. Well, that's the other thing that horses do too, is just being around them shifts our physiology in a positive way.
I was going to say, like so many times we've heard in this show, like how when you're in the presence of the horse, just even the electromagnetic field, like what is it? Like the vibration from, I saw this picture of a horse's heart next to a human's heart the other day on Facebook.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you see that?
It's the size of a playground kickball.
It was huge.
Times the size of our heart. So the electromagnetic field that's put out from their heart, which is very present, very peaceful, very stabilizing. When we're in that, it's the same thing. We're open to that. So it brings our physiology into more positive, rest and digest. Everything's okay. Take a breath, be present. And it's opposite of where dentists work. And it's the nature of the profession. Yeah.
So on the other side of that, I mean, I think when you're stuck in the middle of it all, it can occur like, I don't see any way out. Like I could go meditate, or I could go get a massage, or I could do something, but that's a minor relief because tomorrow I got to go back into the whole thing all over again. Do you actually see in working with dentists, they get to another side of their profession where it isn't just a slog?
Yeah. And it's not, the work that I do with the horses and dentists is not about changing the profession. It's not about changing what happens in a day. It's about changing us and our perceptions and our reactions to it. So we all have things that happened to us when we were kids that showed us how the world is. And we have learned defenses, strategies, don't cry. It's weak. Who do you think you are? Money doesn't grow on trees. You're a slob. You'll never make it. Those little voices in our heads. So what the horses and I do are help people to dump those old limiting beliefs in the sand with the horse. And the horse is a catalyst to this, and move forward in a more positive way so that they can now respond to what's happening around them instead of react. And it's in awareness. So it's an awareness, it's a consciousness. Until we do our personal work, which is what I do with the horses, we don't have a choice. We don't know we have a choice. We always have a choice, just don't know it.
Right.
And so that's the transformation. I have clients, I work with clients I don't do a lot of single sessions. I can, but I work with them for 6 months to a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
We individualize their coaching based on what they need. Mm-hmm. So that's how I work with them. And I have one client who was so stuck and so sad and feeling trapped, and just everything was causing her to feel this or that. And now she has choice. She knows she has choice. Sometimes she chooses to react the way she used to, but at least she knows.
Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah.
You know? So her life has changed. Her practice is more profitable. Imagine the difference in your bottom line as a dentist if you are consciously moving through your day instead of being reacting, pulled and pushed. It makes a huge difference.
I think that's part of the place where we feel stuck. Like when you spin so many plates, you know, and you don't feel like you have choice. You're not at choice anymore. You're just always in a reaction to things. That's the thing that burns your energy to the ground and leaves you feeling stuck, I would think.
Burns out. And I think it's, people are getting more and more conscious of this, but up until now, I don't think people knew that they felt stuck, but they're like, well, this is all there is to life. This must be all there is. And it's not. There's so much more. I know, because I was there. I so get it. I walked it. I still walk it. Mm-hmm. I'm always doing my work. It's a never ending journey. Believe me, we're all on it together. And I'm so passionate about helping that get people unstuck. So.
Yeah, so good. I love it when people can be engaged in the things they feel called to and still feel like it's a joy to get to do this work. And I think, like, to your point, that's a choice. It's a choice we get to make. But if we have an old program running the show, you actually never get to make that choice.
It's true. And I always tell, and I do a lot of speaking on stages, and I always tell my audiences, if they hear me speak and if your heart is pounding and you're afraid of coming in for a session or to find out what this is about, or you don't have time to do it, or you don't have the money, those are the people that you need to be working with me. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm talking about. That's the stuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
If your heart is pounding and you're like, oh, no way, I'm not doing that. Like, this is for you.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That fear that comes up. But also, I also work with teams and do communication work and camaraderie and, team understanding. And so let me tell you a quick story of how the horses work and what they do. Would that be okay?
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
Because I know one of the challenges is to describe what in the world is the horse's role, and how did a horse, like dentists and horses, what?
Right. What?
You can't bring a horse into the office. Well, you can maybe, but.
Right.
So one time I had a team who they were getting a lot of new patients in the office. They'd have one appointment and they would never come back. The patient would never come back. So they came to my arena for a team retreat, and that was their main goal. They wanted to figure that out. So what I did is set up, I had the horse stand as a new patient in their office. And I put the horse in a round pen, and I gave them some activities to do. Like, okay, the front desk person, you have to go catch the horse and bring it to the hygiene department. Now the hygiene department, you have to clean his feet, and you have to, I didn't, they couldn't catch it. The horse had to follow them with no rope. That's what it was. And so in order to do that, you have to be really aligned in your head, heart, and gut, or a horse will not follow. The horse will tell us if we're aligned. Anyway, what happened was they were trying to get the horse, through all the departments, and that horse ran away. The horse talked to the tail, talked to the tail. And I said, was this kind of how it feels with a new patient? And they said, absolutely. So we did some work. I did some coaching. We shifted. I helped them, work together as a team. And they were actually able to walk that horse with no rope from each department and do what they needed to do, get it over the obstacles or through whatever I had asked them to do.
Yeah.
And, the success, it was so awesome. They worked together, and it shifted everything because it was an experience. I didn't tell them how to do it. If I would have said, listen, this is what you do with a new patient. When they call, you say this, and then, they embodied it and they use it today. They use that camaraderie and that alignment. So
that's so amazing. Yeah, it's so great. I always love, like, as humans and vibrational beings, like the reality is like how we show up with somebody else it's not a script. We just can feel, like you said, like the limbic system, right? Where it's open, like you can just feel if somebody's stressed or if somebody's really gracious and welcoming.
Yes, I call it crap detectors. We all have crap detectors on our heads.
Right.
Have you ever walked into an office, like a doctor's office, a dental office, whatever, and you're just like, ooh, something's not, and you may not even know it consciously,
right.
But I'm not buying anything from this team or this dentist, because they're like, because you can feel the conflict or the whatever's going on in the office. And a lot of times, sorry, dentist, it starts with the leader. And yeah. The good news is you get to change it if you want to. The bad news is you're the one that has to change it if you want to.
Yeah. And the good news on that is you have a process to help them do that. Like, how do people learn more about what you do? Since you have this process, then you work with teams and dentists, how do they reach out to you?
My website, it's braveheartgestaltcoaching.com. Nice. And I hope you're going to print that out, because the spelling on Gestalt.
Yeah, it'll be in the links in here in the description of the episode. But yeah.
Yeah, and there's a place where you can sign up for an exploratory call right on the website. All my information is in there, and
nice.
It'd be awesome to hear from anyone who's feeling, that heart palpitation.
Yeah, right. I love it. I think I think about doctors and people in healthcare caring for people's health. Dental stuff, it has a big impact on the rest of the body. I know, like, what happens in your mouth really affects the rest of your body. And I think doctors, dentists that create well-being in the mouth is a really important deal for the rest of humanity. And so, like, it's important. What you're doing is important. And for you to feel stuck, you shouldn't have to feel stuck. You don't need to feel stuck.
Yeah, for sure. Dentistry is changing so much. The mouth is the gateway to the health of the body. And, even with sleep dentistry, working with sleep apnea, snoring,
right?
Lives and oral cancer screenings, all of that. So, but we have to be healthy and whole in order to serve our patients and our families. So self-care is huge. And that's one thing that I and my horses teach, is self-care. I once had a client who came in, and that was her issue. She was walking in the round pen with my horse, and I said, what does self-care look like in your life today? And she couldn't come up with one thing. And my horse, my sweet horse Bella, walked over, laid down at her feet, and she started licking her own hoof, which horses don't self-groom. So that was amazing. And then she lays down and breathes deeply. She laid down flat from nose to tail, which is very vulnerable for a horse. And she started breathing deeply. And so my client burst into tears, and she got it. Like, that's when she got it.
Wow.
That's what it looks like. So she was able to be coached and create a self-care plan that she still uses that today too. Yeah.
I got goosebumps. I was, wow, what a story. That's amazing.
Yeah, that was a dentist I worked with a few years ago, and she's doing amazing.
Yeah. Well, I think all that to say, like you got into dentistry for whatever lifestyle you wanted, but also to make a difference. And I love that as we're talking here, there is this thing that is possible with helping humans through the gateway. The mouth is the gateway of health. Like, there's a way to step back into the vision of what you had originally when you started your business, and you don't have to be stuck. And I think the way out of that is go to braveheartgestaltcoaching.com, braveheartgestaltcoaching.com. Bethany, thank you so much for your time on this episode and the work that you're doing to help dentists and others who feel stuck in life. It's been an honor.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. Thanks, Chris.